Hello, hello. It's time for Fishing Friends. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fishing Friends with Danny and Gina. I'm Danny,
I'm Gina.
and this could be a good one, I guess. I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, sorry we didn't stream last week. If anybody was like really holding out for us or anything like that, but there was the FishFam auction going on Skipper's channel, which is always, a great thing to watch. And it just kind of goes over our time, so we end up always streaming later. And I just wasn't feeling the best or anything like that, so I didn't want to stay up really late and stream and all that. And I didn't want to just stream for just like 15 minutes or a half hour either. So
Right.
I just decided to cancel, and you got us now. But what's up, everybody? We got Ground Fog here. That's a new name to me. So what's up, Ground Fog? And
Hello.
Silver Creek's wildlife.
Tommy.
Used to be aquatics, now it's wildlife. What's up, dude? How you doing, Tommy? Mickey M's here. Only got the notification for Gina's channel.
Yeah, I'd say I just got the notification for your side, so.
Yeah. You might get the notification that I am live, but it never gives you a notification that I'm gonna go live.
I got that notification. I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, yeah. Scotty the Fish Freak, what's up? Vendowski, how you doing? Whips World. What's up, dude?
What's up? Anybody who watched my Wednesday stream and saw that I dropped my D4, I found it. Don't worry, I found it. I don't need to buy a new set.
Oh.
I kind of joked. I was like, darn it, I guess I need to buy a new set of dice because now this one's incomplete. No, I found it. I found my D4.
Oh, good. Good. I got the 30-minute warning notification for both of you. Oh, well, that's cool. Good. Yeah, I don't really get much notifications for like YouTube other than like really stupid stuff. I get most of my FishFam notifications through Discord. So
yeah,
there's different channels you can I guess join on Discord that give you certain notifications, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I still never get your notification, Danny. I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah, YouTube just doesn't like me. And that's okay. I don't really care much for YouTube either. I mean, I like some content that's on YouTube, but YouTube as a platform, they just got so many different issues and stuff that need to get taken care of. And some people might think that they screw it up intentionally. I don't know. Chris's Aquazone is here. What's up, Chris? How you doing? So, I've just been having to friggin' drop more and more money recently, which sucks. I had to get brakes and calipers removed on the car that I had pretty much, just bought like 3 months ago. And so that was quite expensive. And then I have a plumber that's going to be coming over on Tuesday to replace my front spigot on actually both of my spigots. He's just going to replace both of them on the outside of my house. That's just been driving my water bill up like crazy, which the water company has just noticed that like my bill has been really high, and apparently the meter is even showing that water is just like continually going through the system. So they actually came out to like check their part of the system or whatever for leaks and all that while I was at work one day, and I came home to like a little flyer thing on the door and stuff, and they gave me some like tablets or whatever to check for leaks inside the house. But I know where all the leaks are at already. Yeah, after getting the spigots removed too, I probably need to replace my toilet as well because it's just like won't stop going either. I just am tired of spending money on so many different things to keep this house from falling apart. But that is being an adult.
I know.
And it's like my credit limit just went up because I've been, keeping up on payments. And it's like, that's a good thing. But it's also like, it's a bad thing because now it's like I have more of this fake money that is not really there that I feel like I can spend on a whim or whatever, and being adult is overrated.
Severely.
I do not like it one bit.
Nope. I know we've been doing really good about our savings account, and we might be able to pay off one of our credit cards, which is exciting. But yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. One down, one more to go.
I only have one. And
Yeah.
I am keeping it.
Well, so we're in the middle of changing. So the one credit card just there weren't any benefits to it. So we're in the process. He opened up the second one with the intent of chipping away more at the first one, and then that's the one that we're about to pay off and like be done with. And then the second one has like your cash back, then perks, and then like air miles and all that stuff. So
yeah,
get some kind of benefit from it.
See, I've thought about doing that, like getting a better credit card per se, but it seems like a lot of the ones that they offer like benefits and stuff like that, they also have like annual fees. And I don't like annual fees. I don't want to just pay for the sake of paying for something, because then if like, if I don't have any like, if I don't have a lot of cash back or whatever, then I'm actually, taking more money out of my pocket to pay for the fees than any sort of additional benefits I'm getting from the card.
So the best way I found to search for what credit card you want is to go on a Credit Karma.
Yeah.
And then
I have a Credit
there's
Karma
like a search
account already.
Yeah, there's a way to search like for credit cards and stuff, and it'll compare all the different ones for you, and you choose which one you want, and yeah. It's just the easiest way.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I did something exciting today, but I can't really show you guys. I have pulled up pictures of everything I bought today. I bought some new fishing coral for my saltwater tank today, because at Petco,
cool.
Today's the first day of the bucket sale. So
bucket sale again,
yep,
huh?
Yep. So if you buy a bucket, you get 20% off all your live fish and supplies, including coral. Looking at you, Ian, who didn't realize last time we had a bucket sale.
So you guys have like actual buckets, and you sell the bucket and whatever. Yeah. Oh, okay.
And the sale only lasts. Yeah, the sale only lasts in the store for as many buckets as they have. So when they run out of buckets,
whenever you guys get an abundance of buckets from like all your different stuff, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, well, it's the blue Petco bucket. It's not like the bucket that the salts come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the blue Petco bucket.
So what sort of stuff do you guys get in these like blue Petco buckets? Like I've never, because when I worked at Pet Supplies Plus, like we never got anything in buckets that I can think of. So.
No. It's the buckets that Petco sells, like just an empty 5-gallon bucket.
Oh.
So you buy a bucket.
So you guys, so you guys do just sell those on the regular. Okay, I didn't know you sold 5-gallon buckets even.
Yeah.
I've always seen the ones like full of salt water or whatever, like buy a 5 gallons of salt water, but
yeah.
Huh.
No, and it has a lid.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
buy a bucket, get 20% off all your supplies and all your live aquatic stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And you're wearing a Zoa shirt. I like that.
I am. I'm wearing my new Zoa shirt that also certain Petcos sell. I wore my purple Tang one on Wednesday.
It kind of looks like a saltwater version of like Fruit of the Loom.
Right? Oh my gosh, it does. Yeah, like the grapes. The cornucopia.
Chattanooga Ed is here. What's up, Ed?
And Scotty the Fish Freak, is that his first time saying? No, he said something earlier. There he is, yeah. He said the pink hand.
Yeah, which I'm surprised I could actually see the pink hand. I guess that Streamyard is updating and they're starting to include some of the YouTube emojis and stuff now, which is cool.
Yeah. I know, it's exciting.
So, you said you bought a bunch of portals and stuff.
Let me start screen sharing.
I didn't buy anything. I just acquired a few things. So
I just
show that.
have the fish. I don't have the corals, but yeah. So I got a link scope.
Those are cute.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a Tanganyika cichlid, like the Julidachromis.
Yeah. So I got a little link scope. He's tiny. Like, it looked like an empty bag of water when he was in the bag. But yeah, little link scobie. Oh, I have to go back.
So you're talking in like 1 inch or?
Oh no, less. Like a fourth of it. Like maybe 3/4.
Oh man.
2/3. 2/3 of an inch.
Oh my gosh, that is tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny.
It's a
okay,
little baby, eh?
A little baby.
Bob, how you doing, Bob? Haven't seen you in a while.
Oopsie. And then what's the next one? And then I got the tiger goby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's got the stripes and it's friggin' transparent.
Yeah. So this is a sleeper goby, which means I believe all sleeper gobies sand sift. So like your diamond goby, your tiger warty gobies, but this little nano guy.
Wow.
Yeah. And then let's go to. Sorry, I have all these in different tabs.
I got rid of my Beta Mahakians.
Oh no, sorry.
After a lot of spawns, now I see at least 4 juvies in the planted tank. Need to move them to another tank. Other fish need that one. Well, that's cool.
I was a silly goose. That wasn't the sleeper goby. This is the sleeper. The banded sleeper goby.
Sleeper banded goby. See,
this is cool. The sand sifter, yeah.
It looks like he's got an attitude.
Oh, yes.
He's got the evil eyes. Or at least grumpy eyes.
Yeah, they look grumpy, but they're cool. He's a cool little guy.
Definition of Mr. Grumpy Gills.
Mr. Grumpy Gills. And then I got 4 peppermint shrimp.
Yeah.
I think most of us know what peppermint shrimp are. Because I do have Aptasia now. That one Aptasia that I've had in the tank forever that never got any bigger and never spread. Well, it got bigger and now I've got more Aptasia. So I got 4 of these guys. Hopefully they'll take care of it.
Hey, only $5 on that website.
Right. Well, and then you have to pay for shipping. You always have to remember that. You always got to pay for shipping.
But still.
And then I got a cherub, a pigmy Caribbean angel. I'm going to risk it. Because he was already in a tank with coral and he was leaving them alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How big do those get?
They only get 3 inches.
3 inches. Do they change colors as they get bigger like some of the other salt angels?
Nope. That's how they stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are cute.
I know. So I'm excited. So
is that blue or is that purple?
It's a blue. Yeah, and then it's darker, like almost black down here, and you can see all the blue lines that are on their back fins. Yeah. But yeah. And he's little bitty too, like less than an inch. Probably like 3/4 of an inch. Almost an inch. But yeah. Those are all the fishies I got. And of course they all instantly went right into the rocks right whenever I dropped them in. So
I prefer butter garlic shrimp. I like fried shrimp. Some
butterfly shrimp. Yep.
Yeah, hand breaded fantail shrimp.
Tempura, shrimp tempura. Oh,
shrimp tempura, yeah.
That's good.
How big will he get? 3 inches. We already answered that.
3 inches.
Just a little bit of a chat delay there. That is what it is. What's up, June? How you doing?
June.
Getting tired over here, so please forgive me for misspelling from time.
Oh, it's okay.
It's all right. I mean,
and
English
then,
isn't your native language anyway, so you know.
And then we did some shopping on Amazon. We got more diaper rash cream for Kane because he's running low. We got more nitrile gloves for when we change them. Because you wouldn't think it, but poop, that smell sticks to your hands for a while. So gloves. Glove it up. But I ordered a box of medium for me and a box of large for Nathan, and they sent 2 boxes of medium. So Nathan contacted them because they were delivered after, or we noticed it after I left for work. So Nathan contacted them through the app. They sent us a return label and all that stuff. So we sent 1 box back. They should be sending us the replacement box. And then I got some sleep, like it's a headband, but it's got earphones incorporated into it so I can start sleeping. I used to have one, and I think it was a wired one, and new phones don't have an auxiliary port anymore.
Mine does, but I don't know.
Mine doesn't. So I got a Bluetooth one. So yeah, a new sleeping like headphone because I'm a side sleeper. So even with the whole controversy with earbuds right now, giving ear infections really bad, which they do. I don't have to sleep with earbuds anymore.
I have not heard anything about this controversy because, well, yeah, I don't have social media or whatever to blast the stuff in my face. But
the big thing are those Lenovo, like they're hanging on the ear again. Like we're going back to the external hang on the ear earbuds or the bone conducting ones.
Yeah, I've just always found earbuds uncomfortable.
Yeah,
they never fit in my ear right. There is some companies out there that they'll send you like Play-Doh or whatever, where you can like shove it in your ear and send them an ear mold, and they'll make you like custom earbuds or whatever. But even so, like I'm just so much more comfortable with this sort of setup. But you can't necessarily go jogging with this sort of thing.
Right.
It's just like, well, actually, this one fits on my head pretty well. But yeah, some of these headphones and stuff can get pretty hardcore and heavy.
Some people do. Some people do prefer to jog. I think they jog with these so that they know that they don't want to be bothered. Like it's more presented as, hey, I'm in the zone, don't talk to me. Whereas earbuds, people don't necessarily know that you're trying to shut off from the rest of the world and they still try to talk to you.
I tried to wear, I think my sister has a pair of those bone conductor ones or whatever. And I tried to put them in and I couldn't get it lined up right. It just sounded weird and muffled or whatever. It didn't sound like clear sound or anything like that. So,
see, I would love those, but I like anything on the outside of the ear. Like I said, I'm a side sleeper, so that just would not work for me to try to sleep in.
Yeah, as far as sleeping, yeah.
When
I was like in the military and like training up for Iraq and even in Iraq and sometimes I would sleep with like earbuds in. I found some that were like more comfortable than some of the like cheap ones or whatever, but yeah, it's just so uncomfortable. And then in order to not snore, I need to be a side sleeper as well. If I'm really, really tired and I fall asleep on my back, I snore pretty darn bad. But if I fall asleep on my side, I'm good. And it was, living with, siblings and actually, it was my roommate in Iraq that actually really, figured it out.
Yeah, Ed, those might be the same. That might be the same mask that I just ordered. Because you can either have it on your forehead or you can pull it down and have it over your eyes.
Blackout.
But June, that's a good question. So it depends on what makes them deaf. So if you look up the picture of an inner ear, structure.
Yeah, there's
There we
people
go.
that
Here's
have like there's actually like damage to the eardrum, and then there's like lack of
Hold on, I'm
proper
getting it.
nerves.
I'm getting it. Okay, so this is the inner ear. So yeah, if it's the eardrum or the bone those three little bones that connect the inner ear, if those are damaged, then yes, they could still work. But the cochlea is the important part. There's these little hairs that vibrate, and that's actually what is connected to your nerve that goes to your brain. Like Kane was born without those hair sensors in his cochlea. So that's what
Right.
a cochlear implant is for. It's to replace this blue. There's like a nodule or a oh my gosh, it's like a flexible band or tube, not a tube, strip that has sensors on it to essentially replace these hairs. So that's
Yeah.
what a cochlear implant is. So yeah, if they still have those hairs in their cochlea, yes, the idea they could work. But yeah,
Yeah, these they are like newer, like you said. They're not like brand new. But I don't know. I couldn't get it lined up right or something to where it sounded like I was wearing. It sounded like I had earbuds sitting on the outside of my ear, turned down at a really low volume, and so it's just like that's not the nice, clear, bassy sound that I require. So.
do you know the disease that makes you have no hair? Does that also get rid of the cochlea hair? I don't think so. Because I think there's
So
more of like a
alopecia.
nerve. Yeah,
Yeah.
alopecia.
Those. So yeah, some of the things like now in your nose, those are like actual hairs.
Yeah.
But like in your ear and some of those things, they're described as hairs, but they're not actually like follicles, like hair follicles like this. So those people will still have them. Otherwise, friggin' people with alopecia would also be deaf.
Yeah.
Like so. Yeah. And they would probably be blind too, or whatever else. I don't know. Like everything is just kind of weird. But your eyes feel like cones.
Human body is weird.
Stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. Like it's
Weird.
seriously amazing.
And it's gross.
How everything all works. We're just like a giant
complicated.
meat sack controlled by electrical impulses, and you can
Weird.
shut off that meat sack by stopping the electrical impulses.
Yeah, because there is a hearing aid that's not like a typical hearing aid, and it's not a cochlear implant, but it does work by bone conductivity. It actually they like plant it to the skull, and then the microphone like screws in, so it goes behind the ear. It'd be like a box behind the ear. But yeah, it does use bone conduction instead of like as invasive as a cochlear implant.
And then they also have those like teeny tiny like hearing aids that go like inside your ears that you can't even see at all.
Yeah,
But
I think
don't
that's
know how
more of
well
like
those
your
actually
auditory
work.
booster type of hearing aid.
Yeah.
But But yeah,
Some crazy stuff.
it was crazy.
Yeah, I had this customer that has these really, really cool elephant ears that I have been admiring because they're the type that get like really, really big, and
Ooh.
but they, instead of just being solid green like my dad has, they have this like red stem. And so I one time when I was there, I was like, hey, because they were talking about how they went to Eckert's farm and they had picked up raspberries, and they had, these black raspberries that they just really, really loved. And I was just like, well, I also have these Missouri native black raspberries at my house. I could give you a couple starter plants in return for a couple bulbs of these elephant ears. And so they were like, sure. And so like the next time I went, they gave me a couple bulbs of elephant ears. And so I was like, the next time I went, I brought them a couple little starter plants of the black raspberries. But
Nice.
this is what they look like. This isn't like my picture. This is just Google. But yeah, it's like the nice big green leaf, but then the stem is red. They look really,
Oh.
really cool. And they get huge too. Like those leaves are gonna be like this big.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So I planted a couple of those. I got like three. No, I got 4 bulbs. So I planted 3 around my pond, and then I planted 1 in the front yard. And it's a little late in the year, but it's still, they should be fine to pop up and give me, some foliage. But the other elephant ears that you guys can actually see, like some of the leaves, like right above Gina's picture in the background. Those leaves stay smaller, and it has a really nice pattern on it. But those have been doing really well all over my yard and kind of looking like they've been multiplying. And the one in the front yard that I showed a picture several streams back of how it was blooming, it has bloomed several more times. And I think that that's really, really cool because I didn't even know that elephant ears could bloom like that or did bloom. And sure enough, mine has done it several times. And then I noticed my customers that, they have these, the ones that I got from them, theirs are already like full size and growing well. They have a couple blooms on one of theirs as well. So it's like, I guess there's like a mother plant and like father plants and whatever too. I don't really quite understand how elephant ears reproduce and all that. But I do kind of wonder, like, if I get a flower on the one type and a flower on the other, could I potentially like hybridize the 2 elephant ears and get like some sort of weird hybrid elephant ear from the 2?
Maybe. Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
I can hear myself in the other room.
I could hear Marco a little bit ago.
Yeah. She's been very sassy earlier.
I wish I was in St. Louis right now. Well, you can always be in St. Louis whenever you want to, Ed. Come on by.
It's been raining all day.
It has been raining kind of on and off all day, and I'm really happy about that because my yard and everything really needed a good soak. My garden too, I've been kind of, watering it here and there, but without my spigot working properly in the front yard, I'm short a hose in the backyard, and so I can't like get to my entire yard. And the sprinkler that I bought that motion sensor sprinkler that was supposed to help against cats and all that stuff. It has been working pretty well. It worked pretty good as far as getting the cats away. I haven't really seen them much around in a while, but it only lasted like a couple days, and then I guess the batteries ran out or something to where
Lame.
like it won't work as a sprinkler anymore. So I need to go out and just get like an actual, just little like cheap sprinkler and do that because yeah, the motion sensor thing, like it never worked properly. Like I plugged it in, I turned it on, and I set the sensitivity right to where it seemed like it wouldn't go off until I was like, walking in front of it, and it would stop whenever I wasn't. But then like I woke up after like I woke up the next day and I look outside and it was just pretty much spraying out there constantly. And it was like almost pointing like straight up in the air too, because it had just sprayed so much and it was just dripping water next to itself to where like the stake in the ground had just lost all of its like solid foundation and it had just completely tilted back. It was just spraying straight up in the air just constantly. Like the motion sensor wasn't working at all. So that thing is just complete garbage. Works pretty good as far as being just a sprinkler, but the motion sensor was crap. And then, since it just kept going off, it drained the batteries super fast. And then the fact that you have to have those batteries in this thing and basically keep it on with water going 24/7, that just doesn't seem like a very logical way to keep pests out of your yard. There's got to be a better way to do it. So luckily, I haven't been having any more issues with my pond. I haven't seen any other fish pulled out. When I have seen a couple of cats in my yard or whatever, they don't seem to be anywhere near the pond, so that's good. But yeah, in fact, I think was it like 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago. I took a trip into Petco to buy a couple more goldfish for my pond because Gina was working, and also because there was like something that happened. The power went out in a certain area of our city, and so Pet Supplies Plus, where I would normally go after work to get crickets, they were out of power. So I went over to Petco, got some crickets. They had some decent looking feeder goldfish in there that weren't like super sick looking or anything. So got a couple of those, and they were teeny tiny compared to the rest of the fish that I have in there. In fact, I think they're smaller than most of the mosquito fish. But I have seen at least one swimming around recently. I mean, a lot of my pond has been kind of covered in like the water lettuce and all that too. So those little fish have been just hiding in the roots and, surviving as tiny fish do. So they're just kind of hard to spot compared to the bigger fish that are just out and eating and all that stuff. But I did take a short, if you guys haven't seen it, of kind of a close-up of the pond after I throw some food in so you can actually see all the mosquito fish in there. There's a ton of them, man. They just started reproducing right away, and there's probably like already 2 or 3 generations in there in just this year because those guys grow pretty quick too. So there's just so many little bitty fish in there.
So many fishies. It's a good problem to have with our crowd.
I have a family of raccoons visiting my tubs. They stole a can of fish food. Oh no!
Those little bastards.
Raccoons are funny, man. I had shared a short yesterday of when I was at my friend's house where they, feed the deer and stuff, and there was a mama and two freckled babies there, two little Bambis, and they were eating and stuff. But they also have like a family of raccoons that come around, and there's a whole bunch of like squirrels and rabbits and stuff that eat. Like sometimes you look out in the backyard and it's just like a whole like Disney scene where there's just deer and rabbits and squirrels and everything just all just eating food.
That sounds adorable.
It is. It's great. And there's one of the deer that they've been feeding for a good long time. This deer is probably a great grandmother now, and she will eat from their hand, and she will eat from my hand. She will eat from my hand too, which is really really cool. So I've shared shorts in the past of me feeding her by hand before, and I thought that was pretty cool. But it's just like it's really nice, and it's like calming and soothing and all that too. It's like really relaxing. I keep all of my hose in the backyard. I don't care if you withdraw it or not. I'll share it anyway because I can still see it on the Streamyard side.
We see all your mistakes.
Vibes Aquatics, what's up, Vibes?
Vibes, what's up? What's up?
Man, that reminded me of a joke that I had heard earlier, but now I cannot remember exactly how that joke went, and so it's like, dang it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm playing around with my magnetic nail polish. So you paint it,
deer
but it's
get bigger in Missouri. Well, there's different types of deer. The mule deer are definitely bigger, but we don't have like mule deer here running wild in Missouri. We have white-tailed deer. And then elk are freaking huge. But we do keep good care of our deer here in Missouri. So that's probably why they do get a little bit bigger. Maybe they're just a little healthier or something.
Yeah.
But there's actually, I haven't seen it in a while. I've seen it twice. There's actually an albino deer over in Maryland Heights that I've seen walking down the street and stuff before. And that's just really, really cool. Is my sound and everything still working all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I just heard a sound through my headphones that sounded like something got disconnected.
Oh.
So I was like, what happened? I don't know what it was.
Was that I say? Did it sound like that? I picked up my mouse and I set it down.
No, it sounded like or whatever. So.
Oh, gotcha.
It's so easy to miss the pun when not having English as first language. Yeah.
Maybe there's more corn there also. Yeah, maybe. That could be. Let's see if it'll pick it up.
I mean, yeah, we grow a lot of corn and we grow a lot of soybeans here in Missouri as well. So it's probably the soybeans too.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like this magnetic flakes in there. So you use a magnet and you can make like these stripes. It's a lot cooler in person.
It's pretty cool on camera
Yeah.
too. It's just how sparkly it is.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I haven't had nails on in a while.
Man,
Always forget.
I made the best dill pickles a couple
Ooh.
weeks ago, and now that I've been like digging into them, they're like already almost all gone. So I made a whole nother jar because I just found like the recipe that I like that is just like really, really good. And it's like very, very few ingredients too. Like all I use is just like the cucumbers, of course, and I chop those up however you want to chop them up. You can do whole little pickles, you can do spears, you can do bottle caps, whatever you want. And then equal parts water and vinegar. So, like, I don't know, 2 cups if you're going to make 2 like small jars, a little bit more than a cup if you're just going to make 1 jar. And then, like, 1 teaspoon of peppercorns, 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, depending on how much garlic you like, and then just a bunch of dill and salt, a little bit of sugar, and that's it. Like, oh, and then turmeric, a little bit of turmeric too, some fresh turmeric root. If you chop that up, one, you get a nice color from it, and then it just adds a little bit more flavor, and it's really, really good. But it's like, I don't know, like 6 ingredients or something like that, and it's really, really good.
Oh, nice.
And then you can also add like a pepper if you want in there to add some heat to it. The first jars, 2 jars that I made, I just used some of my ghost pepper extract to make it nice and spicy. But then this last jar that I just made, I had a couple ghost peppers already from growing this season, which is it's pretty early for my peppers to be ripe already, which is cool. So I chopped up like half of a ghost pepper and threw it in the jar. You should make a video making them. Yeah, I could do that. Um, make like a little short video, 60-second short. Do like quick chop, chop,
There you go.
where you just like throw the knife down and then the cucumber just explodes, chopped open.
Right.
All that stuff. Yeah, I could do that maybe. I don't know. It's just I don't have the best kitchen to get good angles of like I don't know to film. I would watch it. I like pickles a lot. Dill pickles for sure. Sour dill, sour spicy dill. I just don't really care for sweet pickles of any sort. But then again, I also have not had sweet pickles in a long time. So maybe now that I'm older, I might like some of them. I don't know. I just don't even want to try them because I just like dill pickles so much.
I like sweet pickles. Actually, those German ones that I had found that I said that you wouldn't like because it's more of like a sweet gherkin. I actually saved the pickle juice from it, and now whenever I buy regular dill, like the small gherkin size, but they're dill, I put them in there and I leave them for a few days, and then I eat them, and I'm like, it's like I have more.
I never thought about making them ever in my life until you just said all that stuff. Dude, making pickles is so easy. And it's so good because you can add whatever sort of, herbs and spices and flavors you want into your pickles. And then I'm telling you, just even the most simple of pickles, like not even just adding peppercorns or garlic or anything, just having the water, the vinegar, the salt, a little bit of sugar, and then just dill. Like that's all you need. And you can make some really, really good pickles just doing that. and then add some garlic if you want, add some peppercorns. People add mustard seed in there. I don't really care for that or whatever. There's a lot of different things you can do. The very first time I ever made pickles was a couple years ago, and I had been just growing all these different herbs, and I just thought that it's like, you know what? Like, screw looking up a recipe. Like, I just looked up a recipe to see how much vinegar and water I needed and like salt and stuff like that. But I didn't look at any of the like what spices or whatever to use. I just did my own thing, and I grabbed a good amount of dill, and then I was just going around my garden, and I just grab a little bit of herb and I just rub my fingers in it and just get that smell. I'm like, what do I think that would be good to add or not? And so I ended up, I grabbed some purple basil and some purple sage, and I was also growing a curry plant that it's not like traditional like curry seasoning, but it was a plant that was growing that looked like rosemary that smelled like curry, and so you could use it, but it's not like the traditional. Like if you go to a restaurant, you order curry of whatever. Like that's a whole spice blend, whereas this is like not that, but it still kind of worked in that same sort of flavor. I just added a whole bunch of random stuff, and I came up with some really, really good pickles. I mean, you could be a professional pickle maker. No, no. But I have also just recently this year, because of influence from my dad, he had brought some to one of the family reunion we had. I made pickled sausage this year, and that was really, really good. That was a recipe that I was kind of nervous about because it said to use pickling spice, and I bought some pickling spice, and it's like smelled it, and it had like cinnamon and all that other stuff in there too, and I'm just like, man, I don't know if I want cinnamon and pickles and all that.
Yeah,
But
cinnamon seems weird.
it actually, with the flavor of the sausage and the heat from like, because it was like jalapeno sausage and stuff, it worked really, really good. And I mean, if there was anything in that pickling spice blend that I would take out, it would be the cinnamon. But there was like also like clove and mustard seed and all this other stuff in there, and like bay leaves and whatever else, to where it's just like you smell it, it's just like, yeah, I don't really know, but it works like with the sausage. And pickled sausage is really easy to do too, because you can buy like, I wouldn't necessarily go and buy like an actual like Slim Jim, because Slim Jims are probably like the lowest quality of all like those meat snacks or whatever you can buy. But if you go and buy like a decent quality like meat snack or whatever, I just went to QT and got like these like $5, like the brand was like Fatty, I think it was FATTY, and just fatty meat sticks or whatever, and I got the jalapeno sausage ones, and I just chopped them up in like little like 1 inch long piece and just pickled those, and that came out really, really good. And then I also bought the yellow Schwann's brand uh, summer sausage, and I chopped that up into small pieces, and I pickled that as well, and that came out really, really good. So now, do you let the sausage dry out, or do you keep it in the pickling? So no, you keep it in the juices. You have the pickles in the jar, like it's so good, man. You can do it with like little smokies. Just cut them in half so that you have some of the opening exposed, and or you can do it with like kielbasa. Look up your own recipe if you want. Don't necessarily just go with what I've said. There's a whole lot of different recipes out there. But pickled sausage, it's when I first like heard the term like pickled sausage, my first instinct was like, ugh, like, but then it's like, as I really thought about it more and more, it's like, no, I do like the taste of like salt and vinegar and like pickles. And it's not like you're not pickling the sausage the same way you would with like pickling cucumber. You're not making dill pickled sausage, which I mean you could if you wanted to. But it's like a little bit of a different recipe, but in general it's just like the vinegar flavor coming out, and it's like, that would actually be pretty good. And in fact, I've used vinegar as part of a marinade to make like pork chops and stuff before. And so after thinking about it, I was just like, well, no, actually pickled sausage would be something that'd be pretty good. And I went ahead and I tried it, and sure enough, it is really good. And one of my coworkers also made pickled eggs this year, and I went ahead and tried those, and it was okay. He had a pretty decent recipe. I think the only thing was that he kind of over hard boiled the eggs, so they were just a little tough. But the flavor was good. But after eating a couple pickled eggs, let me tell you, nobody would want to be around you, though. And you're going to destroy the toilet later.
I just realized my Nathan is in chat, freaking everybody out. And BEDC, hello, hello. Thanks for stopping by.
Nathan,
I did a
it's
big
already
knife haul.
cool. We share the same name, but if we had the same middle name, that would be crazy. Dude, I got a story for you.
Oh,
There is one person out there that has my 100% full name, Daniel Joseph Weshy, and he lives in Washington State. I met him on Facebook. I just randomly searched my own name, and sure enough, there's somebody that had my full name. There's a couple Daniel Weshys out there. There's a doctor in Arizona that is like a neurosurgeon or something like that. And so if I ever wanted to, I could say I'm like a doctor in Arizona. I'm a famous neurosurgeon. But I would never, ever do that to pick up ladies. No. But
oh, there he is.
there he is. What's up, Nathan?
There he is. He's awake because it's a Friday night or Saturday night.
But a couple weeks ago, so a couple weeks ago, all of a sudden we had a new hire at work. And I get in and like, everybody, this is Daniel. I'm like, nope, this is not going to work. I was just kind of joking, teasing or whatever. But it's like, there's only room for one Daniel here, and that's me. And, it is what it is. He's kind of joking with him. He was a little quiet and shy or whatever. Second day, he comes in, and we were talking. It's like, Daniel, like, what do you like to? It's like, well, Daniel's fine. All my friends and stuff call me Danny, and generally I only get Daniel when like I'm in trouble with my family. And some people call me Dan, but Daniel's just fine. And it's like, yeah, because I mean, like, you can't go by Danny. And then there's something that they mentioned that his middle initial was J. I was like, no, like, and if your middle name's Joseph, like, no. And it's like, no, actually, my middle name is Joseph. And like, Daniel Joseph? He's like, no. I'm like, get out of here. Sure enough, yeah, same first and middle name. But luckily, his last initial wasn't a W, or else I'd be like, no. But on the good side or whatever, I guess good side for me, whatever. Anyway, he didn't end up working out. He quit after like the second day. So I never had to see Daniel Joseph again. But I found other Nathan Hubbies, but I don't know if they have the same middle name. I'm sure there's one person out there that has, figured out that these two names sound good together or whatever. My brother's name is Nathan, and his middle name is David. And he's officially a Nathan as well. I don't know about you two, but some people are called, like, their official birth name is Nathaniel, but they've gone by Nathan their entire lives. Whereas my brother, his actual birth name is Nathan, not Nathaniel. Whereas I go by Danny, even though my birth name is Daniel. I am officially a Nathan. Okay. Which I only feel like the people that are going to be called Nathaniel are those that are like come from like a religious background, like a religious family, because that's like the biblical name.
Right.
Which is funny because my family actually is very religious, and my brother did not get like the biblical Nathaniel. I guess my parents just didn't really like that or something. I don't know. I never really asked my mom and my dad why they went with Nathan versus Nathaniel. It doesn't really affect me. It's my brother, not me. So Gina is the only Gina I know. I think that that's true. Like, I know several Reginas that go by Gina. But, yeah, you're the only Gina that I know. Same
I'm
here.
the best
Nathan is
Gina
my true
everybody
name
knows.
on my birth. I have an Aunt Gina. I have an Aunt Jeannie, but her name is Jeanette. Yeah, Ed, you should definitely try making your own pickles sometime. If you like pickles, for sure, like, try making them yourself, because all they have to do is, after you put them in the jar, just leave them in your fridge for like 2, maybe 3 weeks, and you can start eating them. And man, they are good. No pickles taste as good as homemade pickles. Life Lessons crew, hello there. And didn't officially say hi to BEEDC. When you pickle eggs, they get a little tough, almost rubbery. And yeah, I figured that would happen as well. And that's why I almost suggested to him, since you're adding the hot brine on top of the already cooked eggs, that is going to cook them a little bit longer as the brine cools down when you put them in the fridge and all that stuff. So what you should almost do is like hard boil them, but not like actually fully hard boil them, like go like in between like soft and hard, like do like a medium boil to where like the yolk isn't like necessarily fully cooked all the way, but at least the egg white on the outside is going to be solid enough to where you can peel the egg and then put them in the jar when they're still really soft, and then add the brine, and then that should hopefully keep them from being overcooked. But I didn't care for the pickled eggs enough to feel like I needed to try making them myself. But that pickled sausage was so good, and I just love like pickled cucumbers, like dill pickles on like everything. So I had to make those. I just love making those.
Yeah. I love
Gotta head
pickles.
back to work. Y'all make sure to have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Well, I sure will. I honestly surprised I'm not Nathaniel. My mom's name is Cindy, but legal name is Lucinda. So wouldn't be weird if she named me Nathaniel to sort of match her. Yeah. Yep. My name is freaking Nathan, not Nathaniel. I've always been Nate growing up, but if the wife calls me by my name, it's Nathan. It's the same for the in-laws. Yep. Yeah, my brother, apparently, I just more recently found out that he doesn't like being called Nate. I didn't really know that. we always ca- we always called him like Nader Potato. In fact, I think that was like one of, if not his first email address on like AOL was like Nader Potato 91. I think. You know,
Yeah, yes, Ed. Yeah, a lot of people really like pickled green beans, carrots, okra.
so down in Louisiana, my dad got a Bloody Mary like he normally does whenever he goes out to dinner and stuff with my mom when they were down there. And that Bloody Mary came with a bunch of dilly beans inside, and my dad fell in love with those. So yes, you can pickle green beans, carrots, virtually anything that you want. Make your own recipe to enhance the flavor of said whatever thing you're pickling. But yeah, my dad absolutely loves the dilly beans. They were just pickled green beans with a little bit of dill and like a little bit of like jalapenos to bring out some heat and stuff too, with some onions and garlic. And he just loved them. And so
I love
my
that they're called
mom,
dilly beans.
yeah, so my mom, when they came back, she, looked up a couple different recipes and stuff and made her own dilly beans so that my dad could have some at the house. And yep, pickled okra. Welcome, Joshua Templeton. How you doing?
What's up? What's up?
Got a lot of names I haven't seen like ever
Yeah. So
pop
we
into
had
my
a
website. Did
yeah,
you
we had
forget to
a
turn on subscriber only?
No, I purposely turned it off. So I've been infiltrating some of the knife YouTubers. Mostly on Tri-State EDC is the YouTuber name. Um but he did a raid for my channel, so I gained about 150 subs from that. And
Oh,
yeah, these are
nice.
people from that raid. So, um, yeah, knifey people who also like fish. So,
Ah, I've never tried anything other than pickles. And isn't it funny how like we can collectively understand that when somebody says pickles, they mean pickled cucumbers?
mhm.
Like that's what we all understand as when we say pickles, we mean pickled cucumbers. But there's so many different things you can pickle. Like
Yeah, in
a
Europe they
big
do pickled
southern thing,
radishes
yeah, pickled radishes in Europe. But a big
or
southern
Asia.
thing
Sorry.
is pickled pig's feet
Yeah,
or pickled pig ears,
pickled
um,
eggs.
pickled eggs, pickled sausage. There's pickled okra. There's pickled green beans, all that stuff. Pickled onions. Um, Sauerkraut is more or less pickled cabbage, just in a little bit different way. It's fermented versus uh, using like your standard like vinegar. But you can also make like fermented pickles as well. Um, I'm a little bit more nervous to try that way because,
That's with the lime, right?
well, you can do it with like a lime, or you can even do it by using like natural yeast or even like adding your own yeast to it. But more or less, you are putting the pickles in like water and you're adding sugar and stuff, and then you have yeast in there, and then the yeast turns the sugar into alcohol and then turns the alcohol into vinegar, and then you end up with vinegar pickles. And that's the way that like most like big, like when you go to the grocery store and you get like your standard jar of pickles, those have been made through a fermentation process most of the time, because it takes like an entire year to go through like all the fermentation process and all that stuff. So the pickles that you're getting in that jar of like that, they already went through like a whole year process to become those pickles. And so that's why, the brine doesn't have all the spices and stuff floating around in there. It's just like perfect pickle juice, because
Pickled
that's
asparagus
all it
sounds
is.
amazing.
Pickled asparagus.
Oh, cauliflower and red bell pepper. That sounds good too.
I've made pickled peppers before too. Like Peter Piper picked a pickled peppers. So I've made pickled peppers. I've made pickled jalapenos before, and I actually added dill and stuff to them so that they would be kind of like just super spicy pickles, and that worked out pretty good. But I think the best pickles I made as far as peppers were the Hungarian wax peppers, which are just like a hot banana pepper. They're not like that hot at all, though. They're very, very weak, like way weaker than like a hot jalapeno and stuff like that. But that was just a super easy recipe. All I did was chop up the peppers into bottle caps, and I added a little bit of garlic to kind of enhance the flavor a little bit. And then it was like 1 clove of garlic, I think, and then just vinegar and water, and because all it was just to bring out the flavor of the pepper and have those. And those were great. Like, you could just snack on them. You could like throw it on, I don't know, a hot dog or a sausage and eat that. It was really, really good. You could throw it on a burger and it'd be really good. Like, those pickled bottle cap banana peppers were just fantastic. I have a jar of pickled carrots, cauliflower, and red bell pepper in my fridge. Haven't opened it yet. Yeah, my mom was also like, sorry, gotta clear my throat there. She liked to make pickled broccoli and cauliflower as well. Especially the pickled cauliflower. She really liked that, but you're not gonna get me to eat cauliflower even if it is pickled. I just don't like it. I have to take care of my geese and cows. Awesome. Nathan likes pickled cauliflower. Yeah. But I mean, it's just enhancing the stuff with the flavor of vinegar. If you like vinegar, like, try pickling some stuff. And when you have it pickled too, it especially if you're going through the good like sterilization process of like sterilizing your jars and everything, and you're bringing the brine to a boil and all that stuff, like, you're increasing the shelf life of your vegetables and whatever else, like, by a long time. I mean, if you were to take fresh asparagus and just put it on the counter, you got, a week, 2 weeks maybe before it just starts getting like really soft and mushy and it just goes bad and you don't want to eat it anymore. If you put it in the fridge, just putting it in the fridge, you probably got, maybe can have it for 3 to maybe 4 weeks, depending on, if you have it in a crisper or anything like that. If you freeze it, you can keep it for, a good long time. But whenever you do thaw it out, it's going to be a little mushy or something like that. But yeah, if you pickle it and you just have it encapsulated in a vinegar juice with all salt and all that stuff too, like you can keep it in the fridge for, I don't know, a year. Though I wouldn't necessarily, I don't know if it's going to last that long in my fridge. I'm going to eat that because it's good stuff. But you can keep it in there.
We always talk about food.
You're always talking about food again. Yeah, we're always talking about food. I should call it Food and Friends.
Yeah, right?
I mean, especially because I'm kind of like shutting down my fish room right now. I mean, you guys can see like this light, the one behind me, I think the light burnt out again.
Oh, I don't think I ever said hi to Ian. Ian, hello. I bought fish today and corals.
I didn't even see Ian.
Yeah.
Where is he? Oh, there he is. Hi, Ian.
Ian, are you still here? I'll go over again what all fish I got. I got to pull up all the tabs again.
And James is here. What's up, James? But yeah, I'm just kind of shutting down my fish room right here. Since there's nothing in any of the tanks anyway. And but yeah, my fish all out in my pond are doing well, and that's awesome. But yeah, I've just been kind of bored of all my different fish tanks and stuff, and I've thought about rescaping and whatever too, but the last couple of times I've rescaped the tank, it's maybe kept my interest in the tank for, I don't know, 2-3 more weeks, and then I just get bored with the tank again. I've just been kind of bored with keeping the fish. And it's crazy too, because I just got this 29-gallon long from this lady, and I kind of still want to set it up. I'm almost thinking maybe if I take down all the other tanks and I'm not just constantly staring at all these different tanks, and I can just set up one tank again and kind of fall in love with it again and just put all my focus into one tank. Because honestly, it was all that craziness of when during the pandemic and all that stuff. I got up to 20 fish tanks at one point, and it just got out of hand. I should start collecting knives instead. Yeah, no, I'm good.
And I'll let somebody to go to the knife show with.
I already have a couple knives that I have. One of my favorite
pocket jewelry.
One of my favorite knives is it's 100% titanium. Ooh. So my understanding, though I've never tried it, but my understanding is I could go through a metal detector with that knife because titanium is non-magnetic and it would not be detected through the metal detectors. But then again, I don't know if these modern day metal detectors detected through magnetic fields like the older ones did. So I may know it. I remember canning all kinds of stuff growing up. My aunt had a huge garden. Every year we get together and jar everything as a family. Yeah. This hasn't been a good year for my tomatoes. I don't know why. I do have, 3, maybe 4 tomatoes growing on both of my plants, but that's it. Every one of my flower bundles, I don't know, maybe I just don't have enough pollinators this year or something, but all of my bundles where it would come out and there'd be 6, 7 of the flowers, instead of getting 6 or 7 tomatoes on that bundle, I would get 1. And so it's like out of all those flowers, only one of them is getting pollinated. And so maybe next year, if I don't see as much pollinators, I'll try to get out there and physically pollinate it myself. But I have some tomatoes, just not the abundant amount that I was hoping I would have and that I've gotten in the past. So I'm still hoping to be able to make at least one jar of pasta sauce. But I'm going to only be able to make one probably with all the combination of the 2 tomato plants. Because, I got 3 purple Cherokee tomatoes growing, and those are about baseball size, maybe a little bit bigger. And then on my Sarton Rolai's tomato, those are also supposed to be, about baseball to softball size, nice slicer tomatoes. But they're still growing. They're only about kumquat size right now. Maybe golf ball size. So, but those look pretty cool. Even when they're not ripe, they look really cool. Because that's the tomato that when it's ripe, when it's fully ripe, it's like purple, black on top, and then yellow on the bottom. Like this or whatever. But when they're not ripe, they still kind of. Where's like a picture of what? That's kind of what they look like when they're not ripe. They still kind of have a little bit of a purplish on top. There, like that. So they're pretty cool. But yeah, they should be fit in your hand slicer tomatoes. So yeah, I'm probably gonna only have one jar of pasta sauce, but I hope to be able to make a jar of pasta sauce this year.
Yeah.
I love spaghetti, and if making pickles is really easy, making pasta should be pretty easy too. And especially because, since I won't necessarily have every tomato ripen at the same time, though I know there's tricks to help with that. Freezing the tomatoes is something that you want to do whenever you make pasta sauce anyway, because when you freeze the tomato and then thaw it back out, when it's still thawing, you can peel the skin away super easy. And you don't want the skin in your pasta sauce because it doesn't render down as much as the internal flesh does. And you don't want all those skins in your sauce. That's just gross.
Ew.
You can do the same with grapes and all that too. Freeze your grapes. Have you guys ever had frozen grapes? Those are really good.
I have not.
You can also make candied grapes. People have made candied apples. You can do it with grapes too. That is really, really good. Especially because there's some varieties of grapes out there that are just amazingly sweet and just full of it's like candy already.
Like the cotton candy ones?
Yeah. My mom makes frozen grapes with butterscotch topping. Butterscotch and grapes. I don't know if I would like that flavor combination. No, I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't know if I would like buttery grapes.
I think I would. I also like butterscotch, so.
I really like butterscotch. I really like grapes. I just don't think I would like those two flavors together. Yeah. Yeah. But you can do it with like if you like melt down Jolly Ranchers, you can do like different flavors of Jolly Rancher, and then you coat your frozen grape in the Jolly Rancher, and then you can add other like candies and stuff to it as well, like put some nerds on the outside or whatever. Oh man, now I want to make candied grapes.
Do it. I'll taste test them for you.
It's weird, but it's good. She uses green grapes. Yeah. See, I was hoping it would be green grapes. But see, I don't know. Like, if it was like a caramel versus a butterscotch, I think I would like that more. I think I would like go for that. But the butterscotch is just like, I don't know. I might like it. I would have to give it a try. But I feel like if it was more like related to like a caramel or a caramel, whatever, versus butterscotch, I think I would probably like that more. Because, yeah. Now I really want. You know what I really am craving now is they have these Werther's originals that have like a green apple filling. I really want those now.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm going to definitely eat something whenever we're done streaming. Yeah, I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm gonna do with like what I'm gonna do with this room when I take down these tanks, or where I'm even gonna put these tanks when I take them down. And that's kind of why everything's just still kind of sitting in place with water running. You know, I should probably just unplug this filter. Just quit wasting the electricity. But now I have all these huge tanks, and I don't even have anywhere to like put them. It's not like I can be like, well, let me just put them in the basement for now. Whereas I don't have a basement, and I don't necessarily want to just get rid of them because,
Right.
well, I'll probably eventually want to set some up again. No, I could maybe get rid of a couple of them. Though part of me is still like, I also still want to acquire more tanks. Like, I don't know why. Like, there's a house just like a couple blocks down that they have like 3 or 4 like 10-gallon tanks or whatever, like just sitting outside of their house now. And part of me just wants to go by and grab them. And it's like, why? Like, I don't even want to set up any tanks right now, but I still want to go grab more. It's like I can't control myself.
Yeah. I know that kind of waste not, want not mentality.
Yep. It's like, well, they're not doing anything with them. Maybe I can do something with them. But then again, I don't want to actually set up another fish tank. Well, I don't want to set up multiple tanks again. That's what it really means. I don't necessarily mind doing, a couple water changes here and there, but it's just like it's when you have to like plan an entire day to do all the water changes on all these tanks. That's when it just gets draining.
Right.
And it's just like you just look around at all these tanks and just need all this work, and you're just like, you don't even know where to start, and so you never do, and so everything just kind of just falls apart, and then now you end up with a whole bunch of tanks that are half full of water, don't have any fish in them, and they're just covered in algae and whatever else. And it's just like, yep. Yeah.
The struggle.
Yep. And then it's like, too, it's like my whole, for the longest time, like, I was just keeping my YouTube channel with just my name. Just in case, like, because I never wanted to, limit myself with my YouTube channel. Like, yeah, I was posting a lot of fish content at first, but I wanted to keep it open to where, like, I could, potentially do, like, other things and just share whatever stuff. I was sharing gardening content for a while, too. And then, like, I had that kick where I was putting out a bunch of parody songs for a while, and I was having a lot of fun with that. And I changed my YouTube name to Glassbox Hero to like put full focus on making those parody songs, and then I just kind of got bored with the parody songs too. And now it's like now my YouTube channel has its limits, and I don't want to do anything within those limits. So it's like, do I change my YouTube channel name and start posting different stuff?
Second
Or
channel.
do I make a second channel? Or do I just, I don't know, stop live streaming and just become a normal YouTube watcher again? I don't really know what to do. And no matter what, it's like, it's just kind of like whatever I want to do. Like, if I want to stop streaming, I can stop streaming. If I want to keep streaming, I can keep streaming. But it's just like, if I don't have a fish room, it's like I'm not really making any fish content or anything like that. Can I really call myself like a fish channel, like, or anything like that? Do I keep the live stream with the name Fish and Friends if I don't even like really talk about fish anymore? So I'm just kind of at this weird point where, like, I don't really know what to do as far as with my YouTube channel right now.
Yeah.
I do whatever makes me feel good. I have all sorts of stupid stuff on mine. Right. Yeah. So maybe I'll change the name from Glassbox Hero to something else. I don't know. But I've just been kind of thinking that this I get to go by. All right, bye, James. Yeah, I've been thinking that yes, we're like not quite halfway in, but we're like almost halfway into the third season of Fishing Friends. This might be the last season of Fishing Friends because well, next year just might be a different show, or I don't know. But it's like I have fun talking to all you guys, and you guys have been like, you've become great friends of mine. And I've met several of you in person, and we've been like, talking and connecting for years now. And it's like I don't just want to completely just disappear,
Right.
Because I mean, also I don't have any like other social media or anything like that. I got no other ways to connect with a lot of you guys out there that I've built this friendship with. So yeah, I have a fish room and I never make any fish stuff in it. Yeah, maybe it would be. I could have more fun on YouTube again if I didn't try to limit myself. And so yeah, maybe I will change up my YouTube channel. But it kind of sucks now because it's like I have all this cool like merchant stuff.
Yeah.
And I even got a license plate.
And
Yeah.
you what?
I even got a license plate.
Oh, jeez. Or start a second channel.
Yeah.
That way you have this one to fall back onto if you ever get back in it.
I did a live stream from a G.I. Joe festival, and it's been my number of the year.
There you go.
Yeah. I guess the only one who's saying that I'm limited is me, too.
That is true. I mean, I do all kinds of stuff. I don't care that my name's Gina's Reef. I was for a while there doing Pokemon card openings, and then I just showed off all of Nathan's knives a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. Well, I mean, you even have
Yeah.
2 YouTube channels, but you basically just decided not to do anything with your other one and brought all
Yeah.
that content onto your Gina's Reef channel. So
It's just all me. Have fun with my ADD hobby adventuring.
and you just have fun. That's all that matters. Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Or go back to your name and then
I
just do
my
whatever you
fishing.
want.
Yeah.
Oh, my watch is about to die.
Well, I mean, technically, it's Glass Box Hero. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that there has to be fish. I do have other glass boxes.
Yeah, there's like display cases.
Pickle jars are another type of glass box.
They sure are.
So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, do what you want.
Yeah.
If you don't want to stream with me anymore, you could just say so. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No, I've always felt like I've been kind of like taking away from your Saturday night.
No, it's fine. It's all good. Nathan's usually passed out by now anyway on the couch.
Yeah.
He's not asleep right now. I can hear the clicking of him fidgeting a knife right now. Click, click, click.
The fish community is super small. I get most of my subs from the cat community.
He stopped. He's about to come in here.
What's in the Exoterra behind me? You talking about this one or this one? Because they're both Exoterra. Either way, I'll just answer. So in this one, which he's not up there, sometimes he hangs out right here on the front, and it almost looked like he was there just because of the angle of that like mesh front and the way the light's working. But up in the big one is a golden gecko, which I had never heard of a golden gecko before. I had seen one at Pet Supplies Plus when I was working there, and I just fell in love with these guys. They are, oh gosh, I don't remember where they're like native to. I'm not gonna even try to remember. This is the exact picture I used. I just cut out this when I was showing. I used this for the creation of that video. I am sharing this, right? Yeah, okay. And but they're kind of you care for them kind of similar to like a crested gecko. They're one of those like soft-skinned, stick on the wall sort of geckos. So you don't really want to handle them too much. Because they can be really fast and delicate, even though I do see some videos of people handling them. Generally, they do have this really nice golden color, but sometimes they can be a little bit darker and kind of present more purpley like that. So, because he was all like purple, I called him Randall, like the character from Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Because that's just what he reminds me of. So that's what's up in the big one. And then in the small one, I have a Chromatopelma cyanopubescens tarantula. And that right there, that's not my picture, but that is pretty much the exact size that mine is right now with the exact colorations. When it gets bigger and full adult, it will be this nice green bottle blue with the orange abdomen. And this species of tarantula, both the male and the female get those really nice bright colors. The male might just be a little bit more blue than the female, but in general, they both really get those really nice colors. Whereas a lot of other tarantulas, the females will just be kind of boring and brown, and the males will get all the really nice colors and stuff like that. Like the Chilean rose hair. The males will get this really nice pink cap and actual like rose pink hairs like that and be all super fluffy. Whereas the females stay brown, maybe get a little bit of a reddish on the internal parts. But yeah, a female looks like that. The male looks like that.
Nice.
I love golden geckos. I was breeding them in 03 to 05, and they're from Australia. Oh, okay. That's a good-looking spider, but I'm still afraid to touch. Man, I still get kind of nervous around it, too. I used to have a Chilean rose hair named Cleopatra, and I held her a couple times, but it still just kind of makes me nervous. Not necessarily that I'm nervous that she's going to bite me, but more like kind of nervous like that I'm going to do something that's going to freak her out to where she's just going to react or something, you know? Because in general, most tarantulas and stuff, they have a limited amount of venom for their entire lives. So they don't just want to go around biting everything. So they're not like, like a cat or something like that that's just going to go and bite you and they're just in a bad mood or something like that. Whereas, like, in general, a tarantula, they're going to kind of rear up and kind of show you their fangs and be like, hey, if you keep messing with me, I'm going to bite you, And other tarantulas, they might kick these like irritating hairs at you, which that's why a lot of the times they'll say, like, if you're going to handle a tarantula or be around tarantulas, make sure that you're wearing eye protection, because if those urticating hairs get in your eyes, it can be very, very bad and cause some permanent damage, maybe even cause you to go blind if it gets, really bad. Because they're just hairs that have spikes on them, and as they move, the spike just basically bores the hair into your skin or your eye or whatever. And yeah, they're just very, very bad. They do have big ass teeth. Yeah, and they will show you their big ass teeth to let you know that, hey, you're messing with me in a way that I'm not comfortable with, and if you keep doing it, I'm going to bite you. They generally won't just bite you right away. There are a couple species out there that are just jerks, and they're aggressive like that. Same as there are fish like that, But in general, they're not going to do that. They're going to warn you first. But the big thing with tarantulas, and why in general you don't really want to handle them, is actually because being a spider that large, they're actually pretty delicate. So a small bug, like an ant, small spiders, things like that, they got a pretty solid exoskeleton, and they're teeny, teeny, tiny, to where inertia, like, more or less doesn't work on them. You can accelerate them and slow them down as much as you want, and it's just not going to really do anything. If you could take a standard ant and throw it, and it would go like at the speed of light all the way around the world and smack solid into a brick wall, it would just bounce right off and be like, okie dokie, and just keep going on its way. But a tarantula of like that size, when they get, so big, a fall, their legs will hit, and it'll actually cause their abdomen to hit the ground, and they can get internal ruptures or even external ruptures, and they can die from like falls like that. So you might have seen videos of people like this trying to scare people with their pet spiders, and I just don't understand the mentality behind that. I mean, yeah, sure, it might be funny to scare your friends, but when your friend reacts to the spider on his face and throws it off, and your tarantula smacks against the wall and dies, like, oh yeah, really funny joke,
Yeah.
But in general, a pet spider is like the same as having a pet fish. Like, you're not going around and trying to pet your pet fish all the time and pick it up and whatever. You're just looking at its beauty and all that and observing it acting like a wild animal, and, seeing how they behave and observing behavior and just admiring nature for what it is.
Yep.
And that's kind of the same relationship I have with the gecko too, because he's fast. He's gotten out of this room, and man, luckily he climbed up the wall, and it was easier to catch him with like a Tupperware on the wall, because I was afraid he was just going to go underneath one of these stands and just sit there, and I wouldn't be able to get him out.
Yeah.
Because he's fast and sticky, and you can just go anywhere.
Yeah, and also just building cool habitats for them too. Some people just enjoy doing.
Yeah. And jumping spiders are also great little spider
Yeah.
pets because they're super cute, and jumping spiders are super personable as well, because they have some of the most complex eyes, if not the most complex eyes of any creature of that size, to where even though their eyes are so much smaller, they have like tube eyes. So their eyes are like super duper long to where they have all those sensors in their eyes, even though they're way smaller. So a jumping spider, I'm just gonna look up just a random picture, just any jumping spider here,
Hi, Select Pet.
so that I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. This guy right here. So those two center eyes, those are their big tube eyes, to where even though they're only like not even an inch, the entire spider is not even an inch in size. Their eyes are so complex to where they believe, scientists believe, that they can actually see like 3D images like we can, um so that they can actually focus and use like facial recognition and stuff like that, but only out of their two center eyes right here. All the other eyes are basically just light sensitive. They're aware of light and shadows and stuff like that. So that's what makes jumping spiders super duper personable. Is you know when you try to sneak up on them, they will actually turn their whole body around and look at you, because that's the only way they can actually perceive you and all that. They just kind of see your shadow and they're like, "What is that?" So they'll turn around and they'll look at you, and it's super adorable.
Cute.
Uh, Bag and fish, huh?
Yeah, I think Select Pet. I think he was at an event this weekend.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think if I were to own a spider, it would be some kind of jumping spider.
Yeah. The hardest thing with jumping spiders is that they are super tiny. And so you need a small enclosure that has like, has to have aeration holes, but they have to be like super duper tiny so that they can't get out. And then, whenever you open it up, you have to make sure they don't escape, which generally they won't. Like, they know where their home is, and they'll kind of want to, when you open the lid, they will go down like further into their home. It's not like they're just like trying to escape all the time like other
Oh,
things do.
the
But
ACA.
the hardest part is finding food for them, because when
Yeah.
they are super tiny, like, sometimes if you're lucky, your local Petco or whatever, they'll have crickets that are small enough, but you know once the cricket gets to an inch long or even half an inch, sometimes that might be too big of a cricket for your little bitty jumping spider. You don't
Or
want
if
any.
you're nice to your Petco associates or whatever, they might be willing to pick out the smallest small crickets that they can find.
Yeah,
Be nice to them.
yeah. That's why, it helps if you are raising your own crickets or animals or something like that, because then you can find the smallest ones, the freshest babies, and all that stuff. Um, but what I try to do, and what I'm kind of fortunate with, is like, I go and I buy crickets one time a week, and I will just buy 20 small crickets. And most of the time, whenever I get those 20 small crickets, one or two of them will be really small. And then I'll
Mhm.
feed those to the tarantula, and then I'll throw all the other crickets in for my golden gecko. And the golden gecko, he mainly just eats crickets, but he also gets like some little like fruit cups and stuff like that. But he doesn't really seem to go for those as much, even though they are technically omnivores. He just likes the crickets more. He likes the hunt.
Yeah.
It's the thrill of the hunt, I think, with him.
Well, and the crickets you throw in there will probably eat on the fruit, so he's getting them kind of indirectly.
Yeah. So he kind of gets that. But eventually, the tarantula will be big enough to go for like larger sized crickets and stuff like that. The cyanopubescens that I have, they're actually very good eaters. They'll go for crickets that are even like a little bit larger than themselves. It's pretty cool. Dubia roaches are great for them as well.
But those small ones don't stay small for long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, I think even when my tarantula gets bigger, I think I'm going to continue to feed smaller crickets just because the larger the crickets get, the greater a chance they have of having disease and worms and all that stuff inside them. And I'm pretty sure that's what killed another tarantula that I had. I had another cyanopubescens before, and it got to, I don't know, about an inch and a half or so, maybe 2 inches overall with legs fully spread out. And it just was like, it just one day was just dead. I thought it was just sitting in its lair ready to hunt, and then I moved the tank a tiny bit and it didn't flinch or anything, and then I actually went in there with tweezers and tried poking it, and it didn't move at all. It just had fully died in place. And so I feel like it probably had like worms or something like that from the cricket. So I don't know if I'm going to feed large crickets anymore. Would he eat a lightning bug? So, the gecko, maybe, probably would at least try to go for it. I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think you should. If I remember right, I believe lightning bugs are toxic.
I would believe that. Like, it just seems like they should have more predators in the wild for them being so free flying and lighting up like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So like Pet says, lightning bugs are highly
lightning
toxic.
bugs, also known as fireflies, can be poisonous to humans and other animals. Lightning bugs can make humans sick if eaten, but they are not known to bite people with poison. Reptiles and amphibians. Lightning bugs contain toxins called lucibifagins that can be toxic to the heart muscles of reptiles and amphibians, including bearded dragons, and can cause death. Signs of toxicity in lizards usually appears 15 minutes to 2 hours after exposure, and death can occur within 2 hours. Oh, well, that's great. So by the time you figure out that they've been exposed to it, they might already be dead.
Yeah, or too far gone.
Yeah. And then in other animals, the lucibifagins can also be effective against birds, monkeys, toads, geckos, and chickens. When threatened, lightning bugs can release drops of blood filled with lucibifagins as a defense mechanism. And the lucibifagins bind to and disable an enzyme that's essential for all animal cells, which transports ions across cell membranes and allows animals to think and move their muscles. So, yeah, it's a neurotoxin, more or less, to the animals, and will cause their muscles and heart and everything to shut down. I thought it was actually related to the light creation, but apparently it's actually something in their blood, which is interesting.
No, you're good, Ed. That was a good question.
It's okay. It's actually, no, that's a good question, and you need to learn. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. And
this was a learning opportunity. We all learned from this.
Sometimes I have found out that creatures are way smarter than you would think. And, There was one time I thought like I had a stink bug that got loose in my house, and I'm just like, I wonder if my tarantula would eat a stink bug. And so I threw the stink bug into, her container. This was when I had the Chilean rose hair. And sure enough, like I knew she was hungry, like she was ready, like it was time for her to eat. But that stink bug just like started walking around, and she wanted nothing to do with it. Like it even like walked up to her, and she just like picked up her legs and allowed it to just walk around because she didn't want anything to do with it. So she was aware of what type of bug it was somehow through, I don't know, the way that she sensed the vibrations or
her
something.
spidey senses were tingling.
Yeah. Somehow, even though Chilean rose hairs and most tarantulas are pretty much blind for the most part, they're pretty much just like light sensitive and that's it. They sense most of it through vibrations and their hairs actually. Somehow knew that was a no-no to eat. So it's amazing. And if you tried to throw a lightning bug in with your lizard, it's possible they might go for it, but it's also possible your lizard might just be instinctually smart enough to be like, that bug is glowing. I don't think I should eat it. With like bright colors,
I pulled a dead one out of one of my guppy tubs last week. Yeah.
Yep.
Select Pet says, I didn't know until last week when I got my daughter a bearded dragon. I found out from my crash refresher. I hadn't owned beardies in a decade. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I always have people all the time that say, like, anytime they get any kind of insectivore animal, whether it be a tarantula, mostly lizards, but like, can't I just go outside and catch some bugs? The other problem with catching bugs outside is that you don't know if they have parasites. They're more likely to have parasites than crickets than you buy.
And those wild outdoor crickets, have you ever tried to catch one of those?
Yeah.
Like when you go to a store and you buy crickets, those are a specific species of crickets that they have, and they can only like jump so far, which those crickets are just in general are very weak. They don't really tend to jump so much. They tend to crawl more. Whereas I've tried to catch some of these crickets outside. They can jump like 20 feet. Like, there's no way my tarantula's catching that. Like, so, yeah, I have caught animals. I've caught moths. Yeah. Like, I've caught some moths for my tarantulas before. It's like, I want to see what happens if you try to catch a moth. And, yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. But in general, moths, they're mostly wing. And the wing is, like, inedible to them, so.
And another thing, you don't know what those insects outdoors have eaten. So a good example, best example would be hornworms.
Oh, yeah.
You can go to the pet store and you can buy a hornworm, and that's perfectly fine and feed your reptile. If you find one outside, do not feed that to your reptile, because most likely it ate something like milk. No, probably not milkweed, but like they love tomato plants.
They love tomatoes.
Yep, and tomato plants, like leaves and stuff, are toxic.
Yep. Tomatoes, for those of you that don't know, tomatoes are nightshade. They're a specific species of nightshade. And so, yes, we as humans can eat the fruits, but even us humans, we can't eat the leaves and the actual vegetation of the tomato plants. And deer and all that can't eat tomato plants either. But they can eat the tomato, though in general they won't. But yeah, so if you, hornworms love tomatoes, and if it eats the tomato and it's full of all that nightshade juice, and then you feed it to your bearded dragon, you just poison your bearded dragon with nightshade.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We have a Miko,
Yep.
the elusive Miko sighting. I can't talk when your nose is in my mouth.
But yeah, the best thing to do if you're trying to like raise a lot of insectivores is to just try to raise your own insects, either dubia roaches or crickets,
Dubious will
because
be easier.
dubias are easier. Though crickets aren't necessarily super difficult, they just jump, and that's the hardest part is they can get out, But you're in control of what their food is eating, and then so you know that your creature is getting good food. It's the same way as if you're, growing your own food yourself. Like I I still sometimes think about potentially raising rabbits for meat. And because I love to grow all these different plants and stuff already. So it's taking one of my favorite hobbies of gardening, and then I can just grow even more stuff and then just feed all that to my rabbits. And so I know exactly what my rabbits are eating. My rabbits are getting all their fruits and vegetables and all their grasses and stuff that they need to where they're super healthy. And then all those minerals and everything from the fruits and vegetables are getting into their meats. And then I'm getting some of the best meat out there that I can get, full of, all the necessarily vitamins and minerals and stuff that I need. So that's the best way to do it. I like rabbits, but I don't like looking at them without their skin on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomato and potato. The green part is poisonous. That's what gives fried green tomatoes the extra tangy sensation, the toxin. Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. And when you fry them, you neutralize the toxin and all that too, and that's why you can eat the fried green tomatoes. But real quick, did you know? For those of you that don't know, you can actually grow through grafting. Basically, you can grow a tomato plant where the top of the plant is a tomato plant that grows tomatoes, and the bottom on the root system is a potato plant that grows the tuber potatoes in the roots. So you can actually have one plant that'll grow both tomatoes and potatoes.
Make me some.
And they used to actually do that in like high school biology, 30 years ago, 40, 50 years ago. You would have your hybridized tomato plant. And yeah, rabbit pellet compost is a great fertilizer. And also the rabbits eat it themselves too. Because rabbits can't fully digest their food, and and they don't want to waste any of it, so they just keep eating it.
Fries and ketchup plant. Oh my gosh.
Well, anyway, guys, we're actually a couple minutes over. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about food today. But hopefully you guys have, if you didn't know already, you found out that making pickles is like super easy, and it's even better than anything you buy at the store. So
maybe I'll try some with baby carrots.
Try making some pickles. And if you do any this week, come back next week and tell me what you made.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week on another awesome episode of Fishing Friends.
Bye.
Bye. So long. Thanks for the fishing.
It's a Miko.